Okay everybody, this is Master O from Master O Karate Academy here. Just wanted to go over a sparring video with you today to work on your sparring techniques. We're going to break this down into 1, footwork, 2, hand and distancing, and 3, execution of combinations, okay, or ABCs, attack by combination. So the first is footwork. So whenever we're moving, we have this copycat situation going on with our feet. If I move forward, this foot moves, this foot's going to copy. If this foot goes back, this foot will copy the same exact idea. So anytime I'm moving, even sideways, the back foot will copy. If I move an inch here and this foot takes too much, look where that puts me. Real awkward spot. I start twisting my body. So it's important when I do my movements is that I'm moving an inch over and an inch back. If I go this way, it's an inch and over and an inch back. If I go forward, inch back. If I go back, 1, 2, 1, 2. So if I did it with my back turned, I go forward 1, 2, back 1, 2, over 1, 2, over 1, 2, forward 1, 2, back 1, 2, over 1, 2, over 1, 2. That positioning is important because while you're moving, some of you are taking big steps. I see that a lot when we're doing sparring, where we're jumping out of the way or our feet are coming together. These are real bad spots for us, guys, because we can get hit, we can lose our balance very quickly. So the important thing is when we're in position, that our feet stay equidistant apart and that they maintain a mimic effect. Every time they move, they mimic each other so that nobody's ever ahead of anybody and the feet are constantly moving. So here's a very simple drill. We call it forward, back, side to side. So forward, back, side, side, back, forward, side, side, forward, side, back, over, center, forward, back. Get the idea? Right? I can pretty much play around with this as much as I want. If you're an opposite lead here, same idea works. Going over, going back. The idea is that I'm always moving. I'm not jumping at the same time. I'm not hopping. I'm moving. And that's important when you move because you start moving and you get hit, you can lose your balance very quickly. So you want to minimize that ability, right? So that's my footwork. Now, distancing, which is my second component. How close and far do we stay away from the opponent? Well, oftentimes in sparring matches, I might see one opponent right here and the other opponent is 2, 3, 4 persons away. And that's a lot of a gap for you and somebody else to be in there. So one of the things is when you're in position is to understand that, is to make sure that you maintain what we call a foot distance range, okay? A foot distance range, which means you're right outside that position of maybe potentially being kicked, but you can move in also if you need to do a counter technique. So for example, if I'm in hand range, I'm most likely gonna get punched and definitely gonna get kicked, right? If I'm in kicking range, I'm gonna be out of that punching range, but I'm definitely gonna get kicked, right? But if I'm an inch right outside that kicking range, just a small inch, that means that person could potentially kick me, but they're gonna miss, but it gives me enough to move right in to either counter with a technique, whether it's a kick or a punch, okay? So distance is important. This is why I teach you with footwork, you only move as much as you need to move. If you only need to move this, that's all you take. A lot of you are taking so much space, you don't need that much space. You just need a little movement, a back movement, an over movement, a short movement. This way, if I move forward, I make a mistake, I can just make an adjustment back and then I can move right back in and get back to business, okay? And then lastly, guys, is the ABCs. Attack by combinations. I see this all the time. You're in your guarding stance, that opportunity comes, you see the light go off in the student's head, they go after it, and then boom, they walk right into somebody else's technique. You can't run in to throw one technique. You have to ABC, attack by combination. 2 or more techniques. Let's go over a couple combinations that we could throw in a situation for a sparring match and we'll put all of it together, okay? So here's my guarding stance. Person throws a kick. Let's say it's a roundhouse kick. I'll show you from a side angle. Person kicks, lands in front. I can take a small inch step back right outside of range. I'm gonna step in with a slide up, roundhouse kick, back fist, and punch to the body, okay? So watch again. Person kicks, I move back, I slide up, roundhouse kick, back fist, reverse punch to the body, right? So I'm attacking by combination. Now, what if I change the angle of that, right? So what if I did my slide up, roundhouse kick, reverse punch, and then moved in on a back fist? What if I moved, came in, back fist, reverse punch, finish with the lead roundhouse kick. So do you see the variations? I can throw multiple different variations on that. It's whatever's fitting for the situation. If the person kicks, it might make sense that I follow up with a kick and then finish with hands. That's why I gave you the slide up roundhouse first, right? And then the hands come in after. If the person punches, it might make sense to maybe punch and move back and then go into kicking range. This way I'm out and about before the person maybe ABCs me, right? Attacks me back, right? So another combination. So I'm in my guarding stance here. We call this a feint. We're gonna throw like we're gonna throw a technique, and then we're gonna attack with a combination, okay? So we're gonna fake, that's one of the moves from there, and then right from there, I'm gonna move in with a jab cross. Then from here, I'm gonna slide up, throw my roundhouse kick, and then shuffle right back, all right? So now we're throwing hands first, and then we're adding feet. Let's turn to the side so that you can see that position again. So right here, I'm gonna be in this position, jab cross, I'm gonna throw my roundhouse kick, or I can throw my roundhouse kick and my jab cross. I can step in and throw my cross, my jab, and then my roundhouse kick, right? Again, variations on how I throw this combination. There's no particular order. Actually, there is. The one that works, I would say, right? If you throw a technique and, oh, you get caught with a kick, but maybe you should have thrown a foot first. If you throw a foot and then get caught with a hand, maybe you should have followed up a little differently. So your matches are going to constantly teach you and tell you what it is you need to do. So let's put all of this together, yes? So we talked about footwork. When you're in position, manage distance. Most important thing, you manage distance. I talked to a world champion, 7-time world champion. I said, hey, what is the number one thing that you do? He says, all I have to do is teach people how to manage 1 inch. And I said, wow, he's got it down to 1 inch. So here's where I don't want to be. I'm just going to be slightly outside that. Why? Because I get to move and I can still move back in and then use my techniques. Secondly, distancing, going back again, making sure I'm at the right distance and only using what I need. Taking the footwork that I need, adding that distance, and then putting what? ABCs, attack by combinations together. The key is to look at what your opponent is giving you. Oftentimes when you're sparring in your match, you don't know what your opponent's gonna do. You know, if I told you I was gonna punch you with this hand, you would say, okay, when? How fast? First and foremost, you're going to want to know when it's coming. So I could tell you I'm going to kick you with a roundhouse kick and still hit you with it and you not be able to block it because you don't know the when. So during the process of this sparring match, I'm trying to find out when. If I have good footwork, I can cut off my opponent's path. If I have good distancing, I can limit their ability to counter me. And if I attack by combinations, I can totally overwhelm my opponent. And again, scoring those techniques in and out well before the person knows I was even there. Guys, I hope this video was very useful to you. Again, do this one again and again. Repetition is how we learn. I think there's so much gold in this video in regards to distancing and footwork and the simple basics of combinations. These are the 3 basic tools I've used in all my years of training. 3 basic principles I was taught decades ago and have still found to be useful in helping students achieve success in martial arts as well and in life. This is Master O from Master O Karate Academy. Train hard until we see each other again. Ooh, let's finish with our creed. Hands behind your back. We are Black Belt School. We are dedicated. We are motivated. We're on our quest to be our best. Ki-ai! Wuss.